An error occurred on Twitter. This user temporary go live. Wow, Twitter's having problems. Okay. Go live. Whoa, baby. Oh, I am. Am I live? Okay. Whew. I've been live for 50 seconds and didn't even realize it. We are having problems, though. Give me a second. Hey, I went over 2,000 subs today on Twitter. Actually, it must have been yesterday. We're live. Thank you, IOG. I do not see a link. Like, I see the post for the Twitter, but I don't see the link. Yeah, thanks, IOG. I mean, I was like, come on, 2,000, come on. Finally, I'm there. Something went wrong. Details not available. All right, guys. I am not sure what's going on. Probably going to wait for Zen to create a new one. He's pretty good about whipping those out. Looks like the one for tonight isn't working. I think, or whatever he wants to do. We live. Good evening, Grandpa Pulse. 2,000 subs. Thank you. Thank you, Lemonade. Yeah, celebrate the little things. At this time last year, I had like 500 or 600, maybe 700. I worked on it. I've been working on it. Why? This right here, the Gray's currencies. That's why. I got deliberate about it. I did. Hi, TS Pedro. Who else is in here? I know Lemonade's in here. How low can we go? That's the question of the day, isn't it? Are we on? I can't tell if... Oh, I got new little logos up here. Images. An error occurred. Oh, an error occurred on X, it looks like. Let me see if I can put myself live. Now I'm live on X. Okay. Well, hey. That's good. Just waiting for Zen. I'm watching the chat. I hope you're doing good, guys. So check this out. I'll show you guys while we're waiting. Let me make this smaller. I wonder if he knows we're having spaces tonight. That would be funny if he didn't knew. How do you say that? Yeah. He says, please be patient. Spaces is acting buggy. I'm trying to get it working. All right, hold up, guys. Watch this. I'm going to move this to a different tab. Dude, guys. Hey, Daddy Hexler. Good to see you. I'm going to share my screen, show you guys something. So we'll talk about the conference a little bit, but I was passing out stickers. And that's a friend of mine, Max. This is on his channel, Pulse Ray Vision. And I jump in there and make a comment. We should do that too. By the way, guys. I mean, go in and support other. Can I say this? Support people. Say, hey, hit the like and sub, because look what happened. Look what he just did. He shouted out PTDC. He's like, hey, Prairie Banana gave me this sticker. It fits perfect on the back of my iPhone. That's cool, man. Yeah, Tracy's having issues getting in. Grandpa Pulse, the more I can buy to stake lock for that 260% passive income for a 4-year ladder stake. Yeah. What's up? YN Crypto. Waiting for update on Trevor's merch. Yeah. Yeah, I think you must have been the one asked me to ask him about merch. Let me just, since we're on that topic, I will just reach out to him real quick. He won't mind, I think. Wait, won't let me create a space. Let me try. Okay, so I'm going to try to create a space. Lemonade, I don't mind if you remind me about that, because I can just drop him a quick message. But if I forget, okay, I'm creating a space. PTGC and UFO, the PulseChain Index Tokens. We're going to record it. It will be, I'll start it now. Use your microphone? I guess. Thinking. Let me try it. That means he's going to be, I don't know that I should do that, man. All right, hold up. Block. All right, I am going to actually start it today. Just be patient, guys, if you would. At 6:30, it completely disappeared on me. All right, create your space. Let me see here. Okay, okay, hold up, guys. PTGC and UFO. I'm not going to make anything fancy. People you follow today at 6:40 p.m. Schedule the space. Okay, now I'm going to tell him. Okay. All right, I'm just going to it for 6:40. Otherwise, it wanted me to connect my mic. So in less than 2 minutes, hopefully he will be able to start this space. Okay, now I need to, the stress. Hold up, guys. Well, you guys know that Twitter was having issues. Like Elon Musk said that Twitter was not, I guess it gets hacked or attacked regularly. He said this one was more of a coordinated attack where they started somewhere else and then they ended up on Twitter. I forget. You can read his post. But I was like, whoa, man. I thought I had issues. Man, lady down at the tire shop had issues with her Hulu. I know that. Let me make sure. Can you see it? Profile. Create. You go to create your space and then it didn't let me create it. It looks like I didn't create it either. I'll try again. Okay, hold up, guys. All right, now, people you follow, I'm just going to do it. PTGC and UFO. And who cares about the mic, right? Let's just see if maybe it works. Start now. Microphone is in use. Okay. I've got it started. Okay. Share. Copy link. Let's try that. Try that, and then we'll post it. This is a coordinated effort, guys. How about that sticker picture, huh? Is that cool? I was going around the lunchroom that day passing out stickers. I was a sticker guy. And because I had my suit on, I felt like that sales guy that whoops open his jacket and has all the watches, And so I was literally passing out stickers, and I was like, oops, didn't want to do that. I was like, I had my phone on my jacket, and I was like, yeah, I put one on my phone. See, and then you can put it on your water bottle, your coffee mug, your laptop. I was just having fun, man. And people were digging the stickers. They love it. They love the stickers. All right. And I got to meet Crypto Kong. We spent some time together. I mean, we walked around and had dinner, and the next day we got some work done on our computers. So yeah, man, it was a trip. It was a trip to Las Vegas. And it was expensive, guys. That place is. Went down for coffee in the morning. Or you guys still see Max, huh? I go down for coffee in the morning, a bottle of water and a 12-ounce black coffee, like nothing in it. It was $21. I will be ready for that next time. Like maybe with some gains. Can you give you an update on the PTGC pulse ratio, Rodolfo? I'm happy to. Let me get a message out to Trevor real quick, if you don't mind. He will appreciate, I think, hearing from me. Come on, man. Want to get this done? I mean, we're waiting for the spaces anyhow. Where is Trevor? Trevor. Yeah, he hasn't jumped in yet. Oh, it's crazy. I can't even find Trevor. All right, I'm going to have to figure about that for a minute. Can you PM me, Lemonade, so I don't forget? I mean, so it's in front of me. I'll star it too. Okay, think. I need to be watching my messages from. We are having trouble streaming to X. Yikes. Having trouble streaming from X. StreamYard is having trouble streaming to X. All right, let me get a quick swig here. How about this, guys? You're sitting there watching Prairie Banana try to troubleshoot and fix things. Sorry, guys. I know you come here for content. I'm the same way. He's telling me something. Let's see. Got wrecked on Teddy Bear, not selling the top, but the PDI peg will balance everything out. Well, that'd be cool. I bought in on day 2 of UFO. I'm happy to see others get a better buy in price. Better than day 2? Not better than day 2. Otherwise, I'm really wrecked. And you are too, Grandpa. But I think I can read between the lines. Yes. I want to do this. Give an update. Let me read this message. Can't even see it for some reason. I don't know if it's me or what. Oh, well. This is aggravating. Okay, I'm the host. Yes. Oh, we asked for a link to StreamYard. Yeah. Oh man. Yeah. Oh, maybe we can get him in here. That would be cool. That's a good idea. Yeah. Oh, that'd be fun. All right. I think TGZN is going to jump in the YouTube today. I think we're ditching Twitter for this one. Here he is, man. Yeah. Zen, can you hear me?
I hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah. And that was a trial.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on today. I heard Twitter was getting hacked earlier today. I don't know if that had anything to do with it or if it was just something on my end acting weird, but it wasn't letting me open the space. It wasn't letting me join your spaces. So I don't know if other people are able to join the spaces you have open right now.
No, actually. Well, I sent you the Twitter that I created just now. I sent you the link, but I didn't put it out publicly because I didn't want people to join and then you couldn't get in or something weird happened. So,
But as soon as you open it up, so some people might hop in just because they see it, but it wouldn't let me hop in. But maybe no one's able to hop in, right?
that's
Maybe it
true.
wasn't just me. Yeah.
I have it pulled up and I'm the host. However, I made it. Oh man, you know what happened is I made it from my account. That's what happened.
Yeah, I know. That's what I wanted you to do.
Okay, I did, and then I sent you a link, but you couldn't jump in either way.
It wouldn't let me jump in. No.
Okay, so and nobody's jumping in, so I think that means that Twitter Spaces are wrecked right now. That's how I'm interpreting this.
That's what I think's going on. I couldn't figure out a reason why it wasn't working for me.
Okay, I'm gonna drop this in the chat again. I think would be a good idea, or just tell the guys. I'll tell the guys just to jump jump in on YouTube. That way they're not going to Twitter. All right. Twitter is wrecked. Jump in on YouTube. Okay. Well, at least we can chat in here, So
Yeah, we'll at least do a short one and just go over everything. And sadly, we won't be able to conversate with anyone today, but they can chat into the comments if they feel.
yeah. I already have a couple questions. I want to talk about. Can we just go and talk about the conference first?
Yeah, let's start with the conference.
Okay, I just have, I think in bullet notes, so it should go really quick. I have some notes, but top of mind is Max is a buddy of mine that I met at the conference, and I jumped on his stream just before the Spaces call tonight, and he's showing, and I put in the chat, hit the like and sub, which I think everybody should do. If you love crypto, support content creators, hit the like and sub, and it says. And if you're new to PulseChain, welcome, which is my new thing. I want to promote PulseChain, and he flips out his phone and he shows the back of it, and he's got a PTGC sticker on it. He says, "Yeah, Prairie Banana gave me this sticker at the conference, and it fits perfectly over my iPhone." So I screenshotted that. I put that in the Telegram. Actually, you probably saw it.
Yeah, I saw it. Yeah, no, that the stickers were great, right? Everyone loves a sticker.
Yeah.
Never go wrong with a sticker.
Yeah, I was concerned about being a little too corny, with stickers, but like you said, and as it turns out, people really appreciate a sticker. So, I mean, I guess we'll talk. Huh?
Like worst case scenario, they put it on a sign somewhere random or something like that.
Yeah, some people were like putting them on their shirt or their jacket, and I was like, oh, well, you might. That's gonna be very temporary, But wait,
Yeah, they're wearing it like name badges.
yeah, that's fine, but I had more permanent places in mind. As it turns out, I was able to give like some people multiple stickers. People in the community, one gentleman, I gave him 7 stickers. You know, some people wanted more than just 1, 2, or 3, and I still came home with a couple dozen. So it worked out perfect. I didn't run out. I got to be generous
Yeah,
and
that's
didn't run
awesome.
out. So I'm just going to talk in bullet points. There are 6 here, and we can stop and talk about each one of them if you want. So Access
Yeah.
Alive. This is just notes that I took down just for my personal stuff, but I figure you guys might be interested because this is hot off the press. Access Alive spoke, and he says I think he made it was a side comment. Yes, he says I no longer believe in the 4-year cycle. I think he says I've been thinking this for a while. I think we're looking at a 27 to 28 cycle top. I was like, whoa, that's contrary. Write that down. So there is that.
Year 27, 28.
Yep. That's what he said. And one of the takeaways I got from B Roots is that there was a meme run on Solana. And we know that. I knew that. But I didn't really think that everybody's going to, what those people, once Solana is done, are going to come over here. I pictured them coming over here, which I think they will. But it didn't make the connection that they might be coming over here looking for other memes. I was like, whoa, there. You know, if we can push that narrative for PTDC, when they get here, they'll find us. So there is that.
Yeah, I actually agree with that quite a bit, right? Like if they're very, very used to just trading memes over there on Solana, if they're very used to even like only interacting with the pumped up fun stuff, if they come here, I think that was a great move by RH to deliver that same product over here because they're most likely, at least with a majority of their portfolio, probably not going to change how they've been operating for years. We could educate them if we get them in a conversation, and try to bring them towards more sustainable things that also are memeable and have a mascot. But definitely need to give them the gateway drug, right? The pumped out tires, pumped out
Yes.
fun.
Yep. Got to get them over here. They need to figure out how to get on PulseChain, and then they find the index tokens of the PulseChain, PTGC and UFO. Rodolfo, I'll get to your question here in just a few minutes. I got three more notes that I thought that you guys might appreciate. One is more of a story, but it's an exciting one. I told you, Zen, about it. So we have a panel with Dollar Cost, B Roots, Ian, and I think it was Charlie. I'm pretty sure Charlie was on that panel. And the moderator asked everybody, give me your top 100 on Pulse. Your top, I think he asked for top 3 tokens, whatever, on PulseChain that's not an RH creation. Your top 3 for this cycle. Your top 3 that you're excited about that you think are going to blow doors off this cycle. B Roots went first, and he says, Teddy Bear, PTDC, and the room erupted a little bit. Okay. And then PDI. Ian echoed pretty much the same thing. He mentioned PTDC. And then Dollar Cost definitely mentioned UFO. I don't remember him saying PTDC, but there's so much, I want to listen to that segment again because I bet he did mention PTDC. And I think the 4th person did, but I do not remember. But what I can tell you guys is that at this conference, it's difficult. It's difficult for me to think that I'm not jaded because I love the Grays ecosystem so much that I'm not, that is where my focus is. It is, but I try to be unbiased. But I'm gonna tell you guys, from my perspective, the Grays ecosystem was well represented, probably more represented than any other token. it definitely got called out more than any other token. There was another ecosystem there, but they didn't. I flipped all my economic energy out of that ecosystem into PTGC, and I'm up, by the way. But they did not get shouted out as much as the Grays currencies did. We are on people's minds, and that's one of the reasons that I was there passing out these stickers, is I want to get the Grays currencies on new people's minds. But we were the most represented. We were the most shouted out. There was visible excitement. There were other projects that I believe in. I think that I like the founders, but it was just kind of just there was like nothing in the room. It was kind of sad, honestly, but
Yeah, I definitely feel that excitement with PTGC is, a lot to do with the success we've had, the liquidity that we've been able to incur, the amount of people who have most likely made some value on their bag within PTGC, which if you look at a lot of the other projects on chain, it's hard, right? It's hard to make a sustainable project on the chain currently because the blockchain itself isn't doing that well. There isn't new users coming to the chain. There isn't new money being made. So it is a difficult task. But that's one thing that I think stands out so much about PTGC and UFO is we've took a very unfavorable environment and used every piece of it that we could to benefit our system, benefit our holders, benefit the longevity of the system. And I think, like you said, just you can hear that in the community, right? Like if someone has been in the system, they've enjoyed it. It sounds like people are passionate about their bags. So
yes, there are people that told me that their PTDC and UFO bag is outshining everything else in their bag, and we know that from our own experience. So yeah, there were people that were ripe for the pickings. I brought a lady into the Grays currencies right there. I mean, a lady and a gal, and a guy, and brought them right there in. We're waiting for coffee to go into the room, and they'd walk up and they'd start asking me about PTDC and how to get in and this and that. And it was so easy. They were ready. So yeah, we could use more people to go next year. And I think the audience members, if they go back next year, they're already going to be holding it, and they'll probably be equally excited about what happens over this next year with PTDC. So, but we were well represented. There was a group of guys, I think they were from Southern California, and they were all there, and they had their PTDC t-shirts, and they all sat together. It was cool.
I saw a picture of that. That really made me excited. I saw someone send a picture in, and they're filming B Roots up on stage, but the people in front of them, all three of them were wearing PTGC t-shirts.
Yeah, Snowflake was one of them. Yeah, so yeah, it was great.
Yeah, that's super fun.
Yep. He says, "Oh no, this is RG3, and maybe you can help me with the term here. I didn't get to ask and get an answer on this one, but he says the last Bitcoin run up, the recent one, he said that was crypto bros, not retail. Okay, I get retail and that it wasn't retail. That makes sense, but who are the crypto bros? Do you have any idea?
Us.
Okay.
We're crypto bros, just people within crypto already, people who have been here since last cycle. I would consider the crypto bros.
Yeah.
I do agree with them. Like I've onboarded some new people throughout the last 4 years, from last cycle to this cycle, right? So those people have kind of already dipped in. But one thing that, like, from the multiple cycles that I recall near the tops or during the bull run of the cycle is when you go random places, you start to hear like average people talking about crypto and wanting to talk about crypto. A big one that I remember last cycle was Shiba Inu, right? Like I specifically remember, and I think I've told this story before, I was at AutoZone picking up a couple of auto parts for one of our work trucks. And I was standing there, and as I was cashing out, no one knows that I'm heavily involved in crypto, right? The cashier is starting to tell me about Shiba Inu, the cashier from AutoZone. Like, people were just wanting to talk about it everywhere you went. So I haven't felt that at all this cycle. I haven't gone anywhere and interacted with someone random and them just bringing up crypto to me, right? So, for me, what that tells is like the average retail. I think definitely there was a form of retail that came in if you consider like the ETFs and stuff, but that's not really the retail. That's, more the ETFs. So just like an average Joe buying on Coinbase, I don't think there's been a new flow of people coming in, right? Which either means this cycle was a complete dud or we've yet to hit the big altcoin push up. I can't hear you anymore, Banana. I think you muted yourself.
Thanks for answering that question. I'm a crypto bro. I'm happy to be a crypto bro.
Yeah.
And the last bit of takeaway was you'd have to watch the whole session to get everything, but it was a ladies session. They had 4 ladies get up there, and this talked about the impact of females being in the space, and I was impacted that I need to be more engaged with the posts of ladies and like reposting them, almost like I need to proactively engage in doing that. That's how I felt after that presentation. So, because they do lend a lot to the space, even though it's a guy space, it's predominantly guys. Crypto is. But
yeah, I think with females being in the space, it's good because a lot of times females like to interact with other females, right? Like, I feel like maybe me and you can, onboard a female and be welcoming and educate them. But sometimes they also want to chat with girls, right? They don't want to just only chat with guys all day long. So, I've been really thankful that we actually do have a few females in our community. And, I'm sure they wouldn't mind if there was a few more, right?
Yeah. Yes, exactly. And if you are a female in this community, I'm going to mention Whitney, Queen of Millions, Whitney Magic. You can follow her on Twitter. I think that either a coach or myself or both of us are going to end up streaming with her at some point. I got to talk to her at length. She had a lot of questions about PTGC and UFO, but she has a group of ladies, like 200 ladies, and I think 3 of them were at the conference. It's all gals, and she teaches them about crypto. And I've never been in on a session, but judging by her character, if I were a woman, I'd be magnetically attracted to to that group. I was impressed. I mean, the gal knows how to have a conversation. She knows how to listen, and she asks questions. She carried herself very well. So there's a plug for Whitney. Rodolfo asks, can you give me an update about the PTGC pulse ratio? I'll start out. I'm looking at the daily chart. Can you see my computer, Zen?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. It's been down for 3, 6, 9 days. Hey, we're in the green today already. And the new day, we're in the green. So hopefully that's a trend reversal. And I say this all the time. I don't want you guys to sense any bearishness. I'm just saying the facts. I'm not euphoric at this moment, but I'm absolutely 1000% bullish on this ecosystem. It is what it is, what you see right here. Okay. We were up at one point, we're at over 22 pulse per PTGC, and now it's 12.5. So we've lost 10. But I want to remind all of us what I said it must have been about December, Zen, when I did some quick math and I estimated that, we might be at a 10-1 by, I think it was May. It's March, guys, and we're at almost 13-1. So we're beyond that prediction. So that actually lends to perhaps why we're pulling back, because I literally took some history, a 3 months history, and I projected out and estimated 10-1 by May. And we zoomed up to 22 and we pulled back a little bit. What are your thoughts on the ratios, Zen?
I think it's due to a couple things.
Mm-hmm.
For one, we did a massive pump. Like, there's tons of human interaction. We're doing tons of buy and burns. There's tons of, good positive momentum happening within our ecosystem. There was a decent amount of big players entering into the ecosystem who are still in the ecosystem. But, what that equals is that put a couple people in profits, and on a blockchain where ultimately 99% of the tickers that exist are not in profits, they're down. This was one place that they were able to pull profits from. So I think a couple people did, and we're happy. Right? Like, that's why people are in this space, to get profits. And we're happy that they got those profits. Another reason was that the market started pulling back. And when the market pulls back, usually altcoins will go down further than like the gas token of the chain, due to how reflexivity works and stuff like that. So you have to keep in mind that we have our own reflexivity with Pulse, but then we also have reflexivity with the Pulse connected assets, right? Because we're connected to PulseX, we're connected to Hex, we're connected to PDI. And if you look at all of the charts of those assets too, they're pretty much down as well. So when those assets are going up, they're helping our ratio outperform PulseChain. But when the whole market's coming down, it's actually pulling us away from the ratio with Pulse, if that makes sense. Because they're usually falling against Pulse as well. For an example, like today, I saw Pulse was down 5%, but then I saw PulseX was down 10%, right? And this is because reflexivity works in both directions. It works in the upside direction, where usually they'll outperform when they're trending upwards, but when they're trending downwards, they're going to underperform. They're going to go down further a lot of the time. This isn't every time, right? But a lot of the time. So if you think about it, is our web, our index of connections via LP, are connected to a bunch of things that are going down harder than Pulse in the downtrend, but in the uptrend, they go up harder, which helps us overperform against Pulse. So that's another reason I think this trend has, kind of pulled back a little bit. But, one thing to keep in mind, a healthy consolidation is good. It's good to give users who are looking to fill their bags a nice discount to enter in at, give users, fresh onboards a good discount, and then let some other people out that possibly have hit numbers with their bags that they're happy with, right? Personally, I believe that this is like the way beginning of the cycle, and it's early, but it could have been a great move for them. They could have hit some of the number goals that they were looking for, and we need to be happy about that too.
Yes. Yep.
Also, I think in the last couple days, what I've seen is I've seen a lot of people sell for stables. So I think people are getting a little spooked, because a lot of people have been saying that the bull market might be over. I don't know if you've seen that on Twitter. I personally don't believe it. I think I think this is just a spot that's consolidating a little bit and scaring a few people out of their bags. And I've seen that a little bit, right? Like, some people have taken some profits in the stable coins, not even into a different, token or gas token, or it looks like they just think that the price might go lower.
Yeah. And somebody posted in the chat earlier today, not probably a few hours ago, a video by a young lady gave some really good perspective. She's like, listen, the stock market is down. What's the name of that car? Tesla is down something like 50%. Bitcoin is down. I mean, everything is wrecked right now. It's not just our ecosystem. It's a trickle down effect, right? So if you're only looking at one thing, you might
Well,
be
and
correct.
you have to also pay attention to our system was really, really high up too, right?
Yeah.
We in the last, you know, few months, we're up from August like a 45x. So
Yeah.
when everything else pulls back, there is a chance we might pull back a little bit more. Look how much higher we ran against everything when the market was moving good. And that's one thing that I think it's important to pay attention to. We can kind of go back in history. When Banana, I think when you first got in was around like January of 2024, if I remember correct. And right when
Yes.
you entered in, we had a nice, like, good 3-month period of price going up. I don't know exactly how many X's you got in that time, but the price went up, right? It was maybe
Yeah.
like from your entry point, maybe a 10X or something like that. But from March to August, the market actually consolidated and went down. So PTGC was actually going down for that time period. People tend to kind of forget about this, but I was streaming every day during this time, explaining, hey, we're buying and burning, we're getting more holders every day. The machine is acting as it's intended. It's building the foundation for the next time the next move on the market happens. Our foundation's bigger and it's wider, but it makes it so on the next move, we're actually more sustainable than the previous one, and we should be able to build higher on this next move. Well, then August comes around, markets shift, PulseChain gets a little bit of energy, and when the rest of things that we're connected to were doing like 2X's, 3X's, 4X's, we ran and did another 45X.
Whoa. Let's do it.
So all this is telling me is, hey, PLS hit a top, we hit a top. We need to do a little bit of consolidation. We need to work on our foundation through this time period. We need to buy and burn supply. We need to onboard new holders. This is a great spot to
Yes.
onboard new users, not only from people in PulseChain to PTGC, but honestly, just people in general to PulseChain and PTGC. Because
Crypto Stylist onboarded her sister today.
look at the price she's getting in at. She's getting a better price than people got 5 years ago getting into PulseChain.
That's true.
So she pretty much skipped the line. She didn't have to wait 5 years. She's getting in right at the best time. And guess what? People who have waited 5 years and gotten a worse price, she's getting in line right before the ride's about to go, in my opinion, right? Like, I could be
Right.
completely wrong.
Yeah.
But I personally think, like, this is the time to get someone into PLS. This is the time to get someone into PTGC, because there isn't a long wait anymore. They're getting on the ride right before it goes. And, yeah, Banana, you got in a year ago and are up a few more X's than maybe someone getting in today. But there was more risk 10 years ago. There was less momentum 10 years ago. There was less liquidity 10 years, or not 10 years ago, 1 year ago. Sorry.
I know what you meant.
Yeah, 1 year ago. There was a lot. The price was lower. There was a lot of things that we don't have today, and that's one benefit of someone getting into PTGC today. Look at the conference you were just at, the energy that was there, the community that was there.
Yeah.
These are things that actually weren't built last year. And what does that tell me? It's like, that means we've came so far in the last year. And look
Yeah.
at PulseChain is still at the exact same price, these low levels. Like, well, PulseChain's actually lower than last year this time, but we're still at the lows of PulseChain is what I'm getting at. But we're just continuously growing. So what you look around and you're like, okay, most alts are down 60% from their high, right? PulseChain is technically down 60% from their high. PTGC is currently down 60% from their high. But what you have to ask yourself is, well, when they ran up, when the pump happens, how many X's did you get on some of these other assets? we know what
Right.
people got on PTGC. They got a 45x the first time. The second time they got a 45x, and PulseChain actually did less X's the second time, but we still did a 45x even with less help from PulseChain. So wouldn't you want to be in the assets that do more X's on the way up, but then the same consolidation on the way down? The answer is yes, because all you're doing is making higher floors. And this is what we've seen with PTGC. The first pump went to like 5 mil and then consolidated down to like 500K market cap. And then it sat there for a little bit. If you took advantage of that, then it pumped up to, I think it was like 20 million, right? A 20 million market cap. And then it consolidated down to like, I think 2-3 mil market cap, something like that, 5 mil maybe. But then it pushed up to a 200 and something, 300 mil market cap. So you get what I'm saying is each time it does this cycle, right? A micro cycle of a pump and consolidation, the lows of PulseChain create the lows of PTGC. And that's where we build our foundation and we get ready for the next push upwards. And this is healthy and this is good. And this is what creates sustainability and natural growth. Because if you rise up with that, without these natural consolidations and redistributions, buying and burning, the fall eventually does come and it comes harder. So it's nice to come, kind of like a staircase, right? You got to step up and a step flat, step up and a step flat, but you're still getting to the destination. It just takes a little bit more time, but it's healthy.
Yes, agreed. Hit the like and sub, guys. Subscribe to my channel if you would. Hey, Zen, I went over, this is a totally side note, but I went over 2,000 subs today on Twitter. Celebrate the little wins. That's a little win for me. I'm excited about that. It took a while.
Yeah, that's not a little win. That's quite a bit.
And I noticed that the main account, the main Twitter account, we went over like 2,000. I think
we have over 4,000 there.
I think we're at 3,800, but we crossed over 3,000 like, was it 6 or 8 weeks ago? And we're already at 3,800. And I'm like, yeah, man. Correct me if I'm wrong, but
yeah, it's probably pretty close. And just today we were talking about the amount of new wallet holders that are happening on a monthly basis.
Oh yeah, guys, listen to this.
Which I don't remember the numbers off the top of my head, but we went back like 6 months and it was like 500, wallet holders a month, 500 wallet holders a month, 500 wallet holders a month. And then we saw when PulseChain started flicking, like moving up, it was like 800 wallet holders a month, 1,000 wallet holders a month. I think at one time it was like getting close to, was it 1,500 wallet holders a month, something like that?
Yes.
So what we're seeing is, as we grow, as PulseChain grows, as time goes on, our wallet, and when market's moving in a positive direction, our wallet holders were actually increasing as well. And, that's a really important metric that a lot of people don't pay attention to, is the community's growing. And as the community grows, some users that come in are going to come in for a short term, right? I kind of look at it like, okay, with any business, right, you're going to get a client that uses you once, and then you're going to get a repeat client. Or in crypto, you're going to get the community member that possibly just wants to make a 2-3x. But then there's going to be that community member who's like, oh, I want to spend my lifetime here. I love this community. I actually believe in the longevity of this protocol. I think it has sustainability. Yeah, I might take some profits, but I'm actually going to push out a lot of my bag to the future. And as the short-term minded people come in and out, which is fine. They pay the fee, they come in and out, they pay the fee, they make the protocol stronger. But then every 10 or, whatever, we get a long-term person, someone who wants to join the community, someone that wants to help work for the bag, someone who wants to do what they can to add value to the system. And the more people that are coming into the ecosystem, the more people will be long-term community members. This is just how it works. I think it's called Metcalfe's Law or something like that. So, I found that super interesting, right? And what we have to remember, like we're tapping into, 1,000 wallet holders a month or, whatever it was. Well, there's not a lot of new people coming to PulseChain. What happens when, the gates of PulseChain do start to open? When PulseChain is getting a bunch of new wallet holders as well? Well, I strongly believe that they're going to see value in a super awesome mascot, alien tech, that has utility, that is an index of all the top or most of the top blue chips on chain. Like, we're checking a lot of the boxes that these new users are most likely looking for. And I do take a guess that I think they're going to park some of their value over here.
Yeah, man. Well, Jeff J in the chat just did. He says, I pulled the trigger. I just swapped a big chunk of my Pulse and PulseX and some dry powder yesterday. Great job, Jeff. I mean, good timing too, man.
That's the part I really get jazzed about, is like, we've been able to watch this machine work, and we can see that when PulseChain's getting close to a bottom, this is close to the bottom of PTGC and UFO. And then when the whole market starts to pick up, we've actually been outperforming a lot of, the market itself to our mechanics, our deflation. So to me, it feels good that our hard work, even though it's on red days sometimes and the market doesn't feel great, but by us hopping on stream and educating and talking about, we're actually getting the users, new community members in at like the best opportune moment. So then they got the good price, and then they, it's great. People FOMO to green candles. People like to buy green candles. But if we could get them in at the best price just due to education, that's awesome, right? Now we just got a strong community member who scored a really awesome deal on PTGC or UFO, right? And the truth is, like, the price that is today, if PulseChain started moving up tomorrow, or if PTGC started moving up tomorrow and the market started moving in the right direction, that might be the last time to get that price ever. Like, we look at the last time PulseChain was at these levels, I think PTGC was at around like a 10 million market cap or something like that, right? The last time PulseChain hit these lows. Well, there's a huge chance that we're never going to 10 million market cap again, right? So where you look at that time and you're like, oh yeah, anyone who scooped that literally got PTGC the last chance at a 10 million market cap, 20 million market cap, 50 million market cap, 100 million market cap. You can kind of, say like, okay, PulseChain's hitting a low. I don't know if this is the low for PulseChain. It feels pretty close to the low to me. It's tapped this low 3 times now. So I feel confident that these are good deals on PTGC, because as soon as the ecosystem starts ripping, we've seen when volume picks up on chain, when liquidity picks up on chain, when trades pick up on chain, and when the assets we're connected to, because we're an index of everything on chain, pick up, our value starts shooting up really quick. Again, 45x last 2 times. And we don't know the future. You never know the future. But what's like the most common saying ever? You can study the past to estimate what the future is going to hold. That's why they teach history, right? Like, it's just on repeat over and over again with a couple little differences here and there.
Yep. Well, what is Bitcoin at right now? It's $77,000. Ethereum is at $1,800. I think when we were on our call last Monday, the Spaces call, it was flirting with 2,000, and it's down 10% since then. So yeah, everything's struggling a little bit, but it'll recover. I am optimistic that it will. You want to go over some stats from February?
Yeah, let's go over some stats.
Okay, I'm going to share my screen. I have to get the tab over here in order so you guys can see it. It wasn't like super exciting. I didn't think it would be. The stats for February, because the month was just kind of blah, But when I started putting it in, I started getting excited. There are some things in here to be excited about. But let's just start from the left and work our way to the right. So we have the most recent month the closed month here at the top, February, and we go back. And I've been doing this since about, not all the stats, but about July. Most recent month, February. The Ethereum average volume was $2.1 billion. And that's about average for the last 4 months. Can you see the screen, Zen? Are you looking at it?
Yeah, I am.
Okay. PulseChain total volume. Well, I just like to look at the average volume. Look at the average volume for PulseChain. It was the highest since December by $1 million. And that's probably pumped on tires, wouldn't you say? What do you think? I'm thinking maybe
Yeah.
that. I'm thinking maybe
I
several
think it
things.
was at the beginning of February. We had really, really good volume on chain. And I don't know if you remember this at the beginning. Our connected assets were having tons of volume as well. So
Yeah,
we were hitting good volume days at the beginning of February. I think we had some of our biggest volume days for PTGC and UFO both, around
that's
the 2
right.
million mark. Yeah.
Well, that's right. Because look, the PTDC total volume was $22 million. I use round numbers, guys. I rounded that up. $22 million, which was double the previous all-time high of January, which was 12 million. Well, almost double. $22 million for PTDC. Let's see. And I'm getting confused. This is PTDC. This whole section here is PTDC. We're going to do UFO next. So the average volume was $771,000 per day. The fee distribution was the highest ever for PTDC. And then the ratio.
Yeah, the important thing that I like to pay attention to is, like, due to our system being tied with the whole entire market, right? We get dragged up and down by the whole entire market, but also our volume, which then in turn equals our buy and burn, our APY, our DAO accumulation, is also correlated with the whole entire market as well. So when the market's pulling back, it actually kind of turns our machine down a little bit. It like lowers the lights, or the idle slows down, whatever analogy you want to use. But when the whole entire market, when PulseChain wakes up, volume on chain picks up, our machine turns on, right? The
Yeah.
volume turns on to our machine, which then turns on the buy and burn stronger. That turns on the APY stronger. That turns on the DAO, fund accumulation stronger. So all of the things that like make PTGC ramp up as the chain ramps up, and they ramp down, when the chain ramps down. And we have to understand that and say, the chain's been ramping down for about a month straight now. So naturally what our machine is going to do is it's going to slow down a little bit, and that's okay, because what does that equal? That equals great entering in opportunities.
Yes.
So you need to look at it for both sides. Yeah, the whole machine is slowing down currently, but when the machine slows down, that actually usually is the best time to get someone in, because what you're buying into is what the machine could be in the future, not what the machine is today, right? Like, for an
Yes.
example,
Sure.
and I don't like comparing the businesses because it's not a business, but it generates revenue. So that's very unique to our system, is that it actually can generate revenue from an outside source, just like a business generates revenue from outside sources and brings it in. So my best example is, think of someone who, and this is like a really, really, you know, like strong example, but I want it to be a strong example, is think of people who, got shares of Apple or Amazon when it first came out. What they were buying into wasn't what the business was of that day. What they were predicting, that business would grow and become something bigger in the future. And as it grew, it obviously became a better and better and better place that they parked their money. But since they got into it before what it is today, they got a better deal.
Yeah.
The fact of, PulseChain being so low, the fact of there not being a lot of users here, the fact of our liquidity is currently shrunken down due to our assets that we're connected to being pulled down is actually giving users opportunity to increase their position in this protocol at a discounted rate. And it's hard, to buy the discounted rates sometimes, because you start asking yourself, why is this product on sale right now? But you kind of need to look at the environment around you and say, well, stocks are down 20% in the last week or two. The whole blockchain is down quite a bit as well. Bitcoin, Ethereum, the bigger blue chips of crypto are currently down. So I need to be realistic and say, well, yeah, this actually should be down. That's fine. But when everything picks back up, where do I think this is going to go? Do I want to take advantage of this discount at these levels? Or am I actually happy with my position size? When PTGC and UFO were running, was I sitting there saying, I'm completely content with how much I hold? Or were you saying, oh, darn, I wish I bought more at that last dip? And that's usually the best question to ask. And if the answer is, no, I'm pretty comfortable with how much I have, then that's awesome, right? Then you're comfortable with how much you have. But if you're wishing that you capitalized on the discount last time, well, the beautiful thing about crypto is the discounts come and go. And when they come, you just need to be ready to take advantage of them.
Yep. And this is one of those times. I think this is probably the biggest dip we've had since I think there was a dip, a strong one, like back in last summer, like it could have been June or July, at some point back then. I just remember everything was just rolling over terribly. And I took advantage of that dip.
So going March to, like, if you pull up the PTGC chart, since I'm usually not on YouTube with you, I guess this is a good time.
Yeah. Do you want to go back to March?
I want to be able to see March. And we can even go back to when you got in, Banana, which was pretty much 2024, right?
Yeah, the end of January 2024.
Okay. So right when you got in, other people were getting in, right? Markets were kind of moving up. PulseChain at that exact moment actually did its biggest run that it's had to date. It went from the prices they are right now to 0.0002. Pretty much its all-time high, besides the launch price that was higher, like the rip right off when PulseChain launched. But then March hit and it started trending downwards. And it went downwards until August.
Yep.
It literally went slowly downwards until August. And that didn't mean anything, right? The thing is the whole entire PulseChain was cooling down. If you go and look at the PLS chart, it's exactly the same way. So the reason we were cooling down was mainly just due to the market cooling down and the things we're connected cooling down. But then in August, you see that we start to rip up, and a lot of that spark comes naturally just from the market sparking up. So what you have to ask yourself is, if everything's going to cool off at the same time and move up at the same time, where you want to be is where the up is the most and the down is the least, right?
Yeah.
And usually the consolidation between PTGC and Pulse are pretty similar, right? It's 60, 70%. But the X's in the upwards direction have been a lot different. Where PulseChain has done a 5x, we've done a 45x. Where PulseChain has done a 3x, we've done a 45x. And we can look at that at the PulseChain chart too. But I kind of just wanted to bring up that this drop is a little bit steeper, right? But the market's drop right now is a little bit steeper. You can feel that in the market. I think stock market had one of the worst days it had in years. So, but the nice thing about a steeper, quicker drop is usually that means the pain is shorter, right? Hey, just rip the Band-Aid off. Let's hit these retracement levels. Let's recheck these magnets, and then let's get this boat moving in the right direction again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. Well, let's go back to stats. January, we unlocked 239 million PTDC, early end locked. That means somebody paid a penalty. And then in February, it was up to 353 million. It'll be interesting to see I wonder what that is for an average. That is an average of last year. It was the average was 395 million, and so far the 2-month average is 296 million. Let's see what else we have. Holders added. Yeah, in February we added 1,335, January 1,434, and it just goes down as you go back further. Whereas in like October it was 720. So we are adding more holders, which is wonderful. And then we get into UFO. Total volume for February was not the highest on record. We had a higher volume in December, but it's the volume in December was 15 million total. In February is 12 million. And then the average volume, of course, was, very similar. Fee distribution in February was 800,000. In December, it was more. It was 890,000. And I think that's about it for the stats. I'd like to see more holders being added to UFO, to be honest.
Yeah, I need to work on staying on track when I try to educate on UFO. I sometimes veer back to PTGC just because of it being the first one, but I need to keep on track with also educating on UFO because I strongly believe UFO is extremely underrated currently. Once PulseChain wakes up and people see how strong that liquidity web with UFO there is, the amount of liquidity that's actually backing UFO, the amount of liquidity that's backing the quantity of holders of UFO, the amount of liquidity that's actually working for the users of the token is insane. And it hasn't actually been noticed that much yet due to the fact that ever since it's out, like ever since UFO launched, PulseChain's down. You know what I mean? Like we've had a slight run up of PulseChain since the launch of UFO. I think it went up like 2x, which is just not that impressive, right? UFO ran up like 45, 50x. Not from the floor, not from the bottom. Like when UFO launched, it pumped up and then it kind of consolidated for like 2-3 months. But then when the market woke up, it ran up like a 45x as well. So UFO ran up like a 45x when the market started moving up with it. But you have to realize the market barely even moved. So we haven't even really gotten to see how UFO reacts to what the secret sauce of UFO is it's connected assets moving up with it. It's farm tokens actually being bullish. As of right now, pretty much its entire farm, its entire liquidity web hasn't been too positive, right? They've ultimately been down, but it's still performing great, right? It's buying and burning its own supply. It's paying APY. It's paying APY for just holding, for providing LP, and it's buying and burning the heck out of PTGC. I'm just excited to see what it does when PulseChain does what UFO is designed to very much take advantage of. It's been designed to thrive in the growth of PulseChain. As PulseChain grows, as PulseX grows, as everything it's connected to evolve and become more valuable, naturally UFO becomes more valuable, mixed in with a hyper buy and burn, hyper APY just for holding. And on top of that, the liquidity to market cap ratio is like 25%, which is ultimately unheard of.
Wow.
So, yeah, I think UFO is flying under the radar currently.
Yeah.
I sadly think it will fly under the radar until PulseChain really wakes up. And then people will probably be like, oh my God, how did I not notice this? They kept telling me. And it's just like, hey, I'm trying to tell you at the low levels because the machine is currently slowed down, like we were talking about with PTGC. It's currently sitting at low idle. This is the best time to get in because when it gets into high idle, when it's revved up, when we're in sixth gear and we're cooking and PulseChain's moving, that's sadly when most people are going to probably take recognition of it and prices will be higher. Probably still a great entry point, right? So if you just want to wait and then see it move, but if you're trying to take advantage of extreme discounts, sales on awesome sustainable products, this might be a great time.
Yeah. Some people call UFO like the little brother. I think UFO is more like a twin brother. It was just delivered later. They're equals. These two assets they're equals in my opinion.
I think UFO is going to catch a lot of people by surprise. And the plus of that is if UFO catches a lot of people by the surprise, it's going to be buying and burning a ton of PTGC. So that's going to help the heck out of PTGC at the same time.
I think I can read between the lines there. Yeah, I'm excited about UFO. I have been for a while, quite a while. And I try to lean into it, when I'm talking to people, but it's difficult. I don't know what my mind trip is when it comes to UFO, but it's like, am I wrong? It seems like there's more to talk about with PTDC, or is it just because we're more familiar with it?
I don't think it's either. I think that it's easier to talk about PTGC because the path of direction is so obvious, right? You buy it, you stake it, you can lock it, right? It's single-sided staking with the extreme buy and burn built into it.
Right.
And the liquidity's burnt / owned by the protocol. It's got a DAO. Like, there is a little bit more to talk about, but there's a couple key factors to where with UFO, like, you don't want to guide anyone in either direction. So you're kind of telling them, like, you need to make the decision if you want to LP provide or if you want to hold, right? With PTGC, it's RH used to say this. The buy and burn and APY just for holding is like the best product, right? This is PulseX with the single-sided staking. You buy it, hold it, earn APY just for holding. You get paid APY based off the market moving up and down, which is pretty much a utility. That's the only guarantee within all markets. And then that same utility that's paying you the APY is also buying the asset itself and sending it to the debt address. Very easy to understand. Ultimately, like, anyone who knows anything about crypto can kind of understand that. And then even if they don't understand that, you could just say, okay, let's say you have 10 apples and I eat 9 of them. Well, how many apples do you have left? Just one? Are you really nervous about losing that apple now? Yes. Okay, yes, that drove value. Now you're going to protect that apple. So people understand scarcity. It's a very easy idea, and it actually works very well. That's what I always say. We don't need to reinvent what drives value. We know what drives value. We've been driving value for the last 1,000 years more. We just need to integrate it with blockchain. And I personally need to work better on including UFO in the conversation because I personally think it's extremely underrated. It's super cheap right now. PulseChain's making it super cheap. It's not getting the attention that I think it deserves, which also makes it really cheap. But it will really quickly get the attention back as soon as PulseChain wakes up. We've already seen that once. UFO sat flat for like 3 months because PulseChain was sitting flat. As soon as PulseChain started moving up slightly, everyone started to notice what it was because the liquidity started reevaluating. The volume started picking up. That's the machine turning on. It's kind of like when you got your laptop, just sitting there and you don't even notice it's on, right? But when you hear that, the fan kick on and it's like, boom, it grabs your attention and you're like, oh my gosh, that my laptop's on and over there making noise because it's working. So I honestly believe both these products kind of act in the same way, is they kind of fly under the radar when the markets consolidate down because they're kind of taking a break, they're cooling off. But when it comes time to turn the market back on, they kind of re-get the whole market's attention. And they're like, oh yeah, he's been telling us, he's been educating us on what this machine is for 1.5 years now. And this key ingredient of this protocol, which isn't even a necessity. Like, we don't need the blockchain to be successful. But the truth is if the blockchain is successful, it's mathematically proven that these systems become a monster.
Mm-hmm. Yes, they will become a monster. Yeah. What else then? What else? Hopefully X Twitter gets fixed by Saturday.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Yeah, if there's nothing else, I'm good to call it a night early tonight.
Okay. Ovidian Hex says he's going to ask Matty Allen if he can add UFO to his Time Pays Me DApp. He said that'd be cool game theory. I'm not super familiar with the Time Pays Me DApp.
I'm not either, but more things are on, I'd say the better. More eyeballs. But yeah, I don't know what's on there.
Yeah. Me
I'll have
neither.
to look it up.
Do you know how Coach did at the golf tournament? Do you know if he won?
I know he didn't win because I've already nagged him if he won, and he said no.
Oh, nuts.
But I bet he did fine.
Yeah, I'm sure he did. Yeah, okay. Let's see. I'm reading our little note, our outline. And yeah, I think we can. I'm going to have an AMA. I think we can call it a day if you want. It's nearly 8:00 here. You're going to have a spaces tomorrow, right? Like 4 p.m. or is it 3 p.m.? 3 p.m. your time, I think.
3 p.m. my time, so Pacific Standard Time. For anyone listening, keep in mind California just recently had its time change, which Banana obviously somehow was on par with that. So for anyone, just make sure you're paying attention that the time change recently happened. So it's 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time tomorrow. We'll have the VC open. If this conversation between me and Banana brought up any questions, feel free to come in there at 3 p.m. and ask them. That's why I opened those VCs. It's a non-recorded space, so don't think we're going to be blasting you on every social media if you don't feel comfortable with that. This is the spot for you to go. It's private. It remains private, and it's meant that way for anyone to come in there and feel comfortable. So
Yes. So I heard the VCs are lit, and I'll be holding an AMA on Wednesday at 9 a.m. Pacific. So you guys that just bought and you want to know what you hold, I'm going to walk you guys through how to hold it, which is very simple. It stays in your wallet. Staking, locking, and we'll go over UFO and what you can do with that. You can LP it, and we'll talk about some of the other just things about PTGC and UFO. I think it'll be helpful to you guys, and we'll talk about a little bit about security and some other stuff too, but mainly we'll talk about the greatest currencies. Crypto Stylist says that Time Pays Me is legit. So that's cool.
yeah, awesome. I need to look into that and see what that is.
Yeah. I got to meet Maddie. Had dinner with him and a few other guys, and I like the guy. He's actually very quiet. He'd just kind of sit over there, and he'd, if you ask him a question, he'd answer, or he'd throw something in. But he's actually pretty quiet, almost like he's thinking.
Yeah,
Like,
I'm a pretty quiet guy too. Maybe some don't think because I'll get on these spaces and sometimes just ramble and just keep talking. But in general, I can sit there and stay pretty quiet in a social setting.
Me too, man. Me too. Sometimes it's those introverts that can get some things done. Yes. All right, guys. Well, I think we're gonna call it a day.
Yeah, good improvise, getting this going, and just YouTube this time, Banana.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's important. The community's depending on us, and it had been a while, and we just came from a conference, so it was important. Yeah. All right. Well, I'm going to shut it down. Ovidian, I did not get to meet Sami. He was not there. There were 2 people from Eastern Europe, though. One from Bali and another person from Korea. So people traveled from long distances to be there. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. Ayok says, I like how Zen is not doxed and incognito. Wish I would have tried that first. Lol. Yeah, too late for me. But yeah, guys, thanks for showing up. Subscribe to my channel, like the video, and we'll see you on Spaces on Saturday. Have a great week. See you guys.
See you, Banana. Thanks for coming in and listening, everyone. I appreciate it. And thanks for writing the comments to whoever did.
Absolutely. Yeah. Thanks, guys. Thank you, Zen, for showing up.
All right.
Much
See you guys.
appreciated. Bye-bye.